Good morning and welcome to the next Empowering Morning Conversation. Today, we are going to have Major Sir leading the session, and he's going to have a very, very interesting question for us. So without much ado, over to Major Sir. Please get started.
Good morning. It gives me great pleasure and delight to speak to you and trigger a conversation revolving around what is known as esteem, self-esteem to be clear. And today's conversation will be around this topic of self-esteem. What is self-esteem? Positive or negative? And are there any ways to know where self-esteem is? What is the level of self-esteem that we possess? And if at all there are any ways to improve or build up our self-esteem, what are those ways? This will be the topic of discussion. And I'm sure with all your experience, vast experience, I'm sure we'll be able to trigger some good points for discussion and also for points for action, and ensure that when you trade some 60 minutes of your time, and when you finally bid goodbye today, we'll be a lot more evolved and much more better in terms of our understanding of this fascinating subject of self-esteem. Everybody has got something what is called some image about our own selves, some overall view about what we are in the eyes of the world, and more importantly, in our own eyes. What is it that which is called self-esteem, and how to go about improving it? That will be the point of discussion today. And I'll be seeking the active involvement and support and guidance from our two pillars of EMC, Rama sir and Vetri sir. Both of them will be able to lend me active support so that we'll have some meaningful discussion in place. As usual, you are most welcome to share your thoughts, ideas, and understanding of this highly interesting topic of self-esteem. Building high self-esteem, that is the focus of our topic today. And I invite discussion from each and every one of you. And then let us see what are the points that come out and how we are able to navigate the discussion. I leave the floor open to each and every one of you. And I'd be happy if you can contribute to our understanding of self-esteem. Thank you.
Good morning. I just want to know the difference between integrity and self-esteem.
Integrity is doing what is right. If I can stretch it a bit further, integrity is doing what is right when nobody is watching. That is integrity. If you are supposed to do something in the eyes of the world, whether somebody is watching you or not, if you're doing your job properly, that is integrity. That's it. You need not have to wait for the appreciation or the stamp of approval of others. Just do what you're supposed to do. That is integrity. Hope this is clear, sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
The question for us all from Major Sir is, what is self-esteem? Yeah, KP, go on.
Yeah. What I think self-esteem is, respecting oneself about their own strengths. It's quite often we keep worrying about our weaknesses, what we can't do. I think self-esteem is about you value yourself, you recognize, acknowledge your own strengths, what you have achieved. I think that is what is self-esteem.
Yeah, that's a good start. Yeah. Yes, Hasinaji, after that, Abhinavji. Yeah.
I think one should stand in front of the mirror first and look at yourself and think of the positives that you have and the negatives that you have. The negatives that you think of, you start getting rid of them and add the positive to yourself. And that is how you can see what your self-esteem is all about.
Right. Yeah, thank you, Asanaji. In fact, Major has we always have self-esteem, whether it is positive or negative. So that is an interesting concept he's going to talk about. Yeah, so thank you, Asanaji. Yes, Abhinavji, go on.
Yeah, so good morning.
Good morning.
So there is a different levels of how we can define self-esteem. Now, according to me, I'm not saying it's some truth. So one level, of course, is a basic level of defining self-esteem is considering yourself of value, that you have value, that you are valuable, that you are important. That is one level of self-esteem, and another level of self-esteem is living in integrity. Now, very good question asked by the gentleman to the first gentleman to the Major Sahab. And then what is integrity? Integrity also has different definitions, but one of the definitions is like living life out of from your own value systems, and living life powerfully. That is also integrity. So I guess that is also a definition of self-esteem. Living a life which is from your value systems and living a life from a very powerful context. One small example is that my value system is that I must help. If I find somebody on the roadside, accident hua pada hai, then the world will tell me, yaar nikal jao yaar wahan se, khaan ba khaan aap phas jaoge. Later on, if you help that person, your name might be included in the FIR, and then you will keep on going to the court, wasting your time. So just move on. But then there are people who always stay back and help. That is what is one way of being in integrity and self-esteem is. Yeah, thanks. Thanks.
Thank you, Abhinavji. So Vetri, Shakti wanted to say, you want to talk first or Shakti? Yes, Shakti, go on. Oh, okay. I think she will come back. Yes, Vetri, please go on. You have to unmute, yeah.
Sorry, I was finding a little difficult in unmuting. Good morning, Major sir. Good morning, Ramaji. Good morning, all the wonderful people here. Amazing topic. My perception about self-esteem is my own self-worth in my own eyes. Thank you.
Right. So anyone else would like to share what is self-esteem? That's what Major sir asked. And of course, Reddy Garu and Abhinav try to link and look at the relationship between integrity and self-esteem. Major sir, would you like to go ahead and explain your way? I think now people have learned their own.
Self-esteem is nothing but having a passport, an identity card, which defines you. We've been discussing earlier about judgment and acceptance. Self-esteem is knowing who you are, and it is, as I said, it is just understanding of your own self to yourself. It is absolutely independent of others' opinion. But every time we do something good, we rise a little bit in our own eyes. And the reverse is also true, which means if we don't do something properly or right, then we know that we are looked down upon by the others. Whenever we do something good or what is acceptable to the society, we slowly improve our own station in life. We evolve our own side, and this small rise improves our own self-esteem. I'll give a small incident. Somewhere in the 63, or 64, there's a Tashkent agreement which is supposed to take place. The Prime Minister of India and his entourage was going in an aircraft, special aircraft, and the Prime Minister happened to be Lal Bahadur Shastri. And in the entourage, we had the likes of a famous journalist called Kuldeep Nayar, Khushwant Singh, and all those eminent journalists of that time. And he was supposed to sign the agreement with his counterpart from Pakistan. The counterpart from Pakistan who was supposed to sign, he was General Ayub Khan. So when Kuldeep Nayar, the famous journalist, asked Prime Minister, he said, when the flight was going, since they had a lot of time for discussions, there's a briefing which has been given by the Prime Minister. So he was asked, Mr. Prime Minister, do you know with whom you are going to sign the agreement? He said, yes, I know, General Ayub Khan. Then there was one journalist among the crowd who wanted to belittle Lal Bahadur Shastri. He said, Mr. Prime Minister, whenever you meet him, won't you feel a little bit put down? What he meant was, Lal Bahadur Shastri was a very, very simple, ordinarily attired gentleman, wearing ordinary dhoti kurta and a small Gandhi cap. General Ayub Khan was a man of great stature. He was more than 6 feet tall, and he was having a lot of paraphernalia, the epaulets, stars, medals, ribbons, and brass on his shoulder, and a great peak cap that normally officers wear. And he was an intimidating personality. So when he posed this question, Lal Bahadur Shastri knew that people are trying to make a dig at him. So who are you going to accost when the question was put? He said, whenever I stand before the general, he said, yes, sir. He said, whenever the general addresses me, he stoops low. He bends his head down. He bends his shoulders low and then addresses me. Because Lal Bahadur Shastri's height was just 5 feet. Whenever people used to say he was less than 5 feet, but whenever people used to ask him what is his height, he would say 5 feet, a few inches this side or that side. This side means less than, that side is more than. So he never used to take any great affront when people accosted him about his height or his stature. So he said, whenever the general addressed me, he used to stoop low and bend down, keep his head down and address me. And then another question was asked by Kuldeep Nayar. So in that case, how would you address the general? So he said, whenever I used to address the general, I used to keep my chest up, chin up, head up, and then ask, hi general, how are you? So when even by normal conversation, he make the other person come down and you slowly start evolving yourself. It's a physical rise and a mental rise and a psychological rise. So this self-esteem, I would rather say, when nobody is there to judge your own self, you project yourself higher up in your own eyes, and in the process, you evolve yourself. Every time we do something good, we rise a little bit in our own eyes, and the opposite is also true. So this is a perfect example of self-esteem. So I can request anybody who would like to throw more light or
I
any
think
examples.
Yeah, Gautam sir wanted to say something.
Good morning. In our profession, self-esteem is very important. We are in marketing and sales. So where if I am confident on me and confident of my product or company, it develops my self-esteem. I can to meet the customer too. And if in the confidence shows on me, customer get convinced. And there the respect is very important. Respecting others, we learn that is respecting me. Like when we meet the people that we talk, the people like with the sir, we are address them with sir with a respect. So some people also make a fun or like that. They think that is somebody I've seen in some places. Some people are not very open to tell people sir or madam. because they think that is telling somebody, sir or madam, I'm going low. It's not like that. It is a British word, and it is a communication from the, father can say, son, sir, son can tell father, sir. So it helps the stature, it elevated the stature of respect. So self-esteem is very important for anybody, any profession. And we try to maintain it, try to every day, try to uplift the self-esteem. Thank you.
Thank you, Gautamji. And Major sir has given another beautiful example on how you can maintain your self-esteem. Yes, Major sir, please go ahead.
Any other thoughts? Okay, we'll just see a few pointers. What are the points for positive self-esteem? As has been rightly shared by Abhinav, self-respect, also self-confidence. The way you address people when the chips are down and everything, whatever is going is down, and whatever you see, you only see walls. You should still have the self-esteem. As Benjamin Franklin would say, success is moving from one failure to another failure without losing enthusiasm. That is the key phrase. You keep meeting failures after failures, but still move on. The journey of life is just in moving. And whenever you hit on or stumble against any wall, just move on. Move on with confidence, with the hope that there will always be a light at the end of the tunnel. And in doing so, you'll find your self-worth improving. You might be put down by people, by circumstances, by some words, but the more you start accepting your own self, you'll find your self-worth improving. And as has already been driven in this forum time and again, the moment you start accepting your own self, that is the time the awareness starts. So self-acceptance is a very, very key factor in building positive self-esteem. And more than anything else, you should have your own love for your own self. Self-love, we can call. And you've been reading of SWOT analysis in the management. For that, you should have knowledge about your own self, your own strengths, your own areas of improvement. I would not call it as weakness. We can always call it as areas for improvement. But the moment you denote weakness, then some few notches, your own mind comes down. So you can call it areas of improvement. And the key factor among all the other factors is self-discipline. I can give one example for all of us. All of us, wherever we are, to the extent possible, we log in to the empowering morning conversation. This, I would say, a great factor in self-discipline. You may be coming on camera, you may be coming without camera. Wherever you are, you will just log in here. Like I am rather fascinated by Priya Gupta. Whenever she's been going to her college in the college bus, I'd seen her logging in. I'd seen Abu Bakr logging in whenever he's going for his morning walk, morning jog. Sitting inside the cab, he's been addressing us. And I also been, whenever I've been traveling also, I've been joining this empowering morning conversation. This is called self-discipline. The degree might vary, but the thread which connects all of us is self-discipline. So these are a few points, few factors I would like to draw your attention to. And if anybody had got any points in amplifying or enlarging the scope of the discussion, nothing like it.
Yes, Vetri, please go on.
That was a great input, Major sir. Two thoughts are coming. I would like to share with all our friends. Since you started with the Lal Bahadur Shastri and the physical structure and how to maintain the self-esteem on the physical level. Somebody asked Vivekananda or his aides about how he moves around, because we know him as a man of self-esteem, man of confidence, man of knowledge, everything. We just look forward to him. Then somebody wrote after living with him, he said, when he walks on the street, his eyes level, seeing level was never down the electrical post. In India, we have electrical post wiring and all. His friend is writing, I have never seen him see lower than that post line, electrical line. That means that he always looked like this. And one more thing, in Tamil, Aathichudi, Major Sir should be very worst expert in that. Bharatiyar wrote his own Aathichudi on how to live, advising the kids. On that one line comes, he says, "Yeru pol nada." He says, walk like a bull. I was wondering why a great person like Bharatiyar is advising kid to walk like a bull. Then when I went to see the Jallikattu, the bulls fight in Tamil Nadu, it is so famous. You could really see the majestic stature of that bull when it comes for that. These things now, with complete physical fitness, getting the high above. And we all have that inner strength, but sometimes no, because of our value system or some of the brought up issue, we just shrink ourselves. Need not be. I have great admiration towards great people, and today's topic is so appropriate that we should take this point that we have our own self-worth. When are we going to express it to the world? Thank you, my sister. Wonderful discussion.
Thank you, Vedri.
Yeah, this is where Major brings out, it is not what is positive self-esteem, and he's also going to talk about negative self-esteem.
Well said.
We'll go to the next slide if
today, am I audible?
you're audible, sir. You can go on, sir. You're audible.
Yeah. I was just thinking about today's G2G. Another thing was
We need volume.
something that popped up in my mind was that
Not audible.
now is it audible?
Only Major can hear Kasha.
Only too soft.
No.
I'll connect again. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah, Henry. Henry,
Yes.
yeah. You're telling something, no?
No, I said it was not audible.
Oh, I think you can start with your thoughts now, since you are audible now. We're
I'm
processing
still
on.
listening.
We would like to listen to you. Your voice is very, very clear. You
Okay.
can take on.
So I think talking about self-esteem, it's something that would be an evaluation of one's own self in your own image. I don't think it has got anything to do with anything external. It's more an internal thought or a value you have for yourself. That's what I feel self-esteem is.
Great, sir. Thank you. We'll just go through the 2 slides for the latecomers who joined recently. This is self-esteem. And we had covered just 2 slides. And these are the positive self-esteem factors which take you to be a better image about yourself. And we'll see Are there any factors which can be termed as negative self-esteem? We normally were bombarded with our own self-talk. I cannot, I'm not worth it. I'm not perfect. I'm not supposed to make a mistake. I'm not good enough. Nobody loves me. These are all thoughts which we give to ourselves. Self-talk, they say. Negative self-talk. The more you start giving negative self-talk, the more you'll find reasons for us to lower our own level of self-esteem in our own mind. So first is self-put down. The moment you say to yourself that it is not possible, you're not allowing others to put down on you. You're putting yourself down without waiting for others to put you down. And any job which we start, you'll always be plagued with what is called self-doubt, whether you'll be able to accomplish or not. This is the time for us to remember the famous Chinese proverb, a journey of 1,000 miles starts with just a single step. Person asked the master, I would like to reach the mountain top, and the mountain is so huge, and I don't know how to go. Then the master told him, don't worry, you just have a small lamp. No? Ensure that the lamp doesn't get put off by the wind. Carry a small glass container so that even if the wind blows, the light continues to shine. He said, Master, I can only see the 10 feet away. The mountain is so high. How can I go? The master said, just now that you see the 10 feet, walk the 10 feet. The next 10 feet till 20 feet will be lit. You walk till 20th. You will be able to see the path for the next 30th. Very, very easily, you'll be able to reach the top of the mountain. So if you're able to remove that small self-doubt, whether it will be done by me, whether it is possible, so many people have failed, nothing, absolutely nothing. This is a time for us to rejoice in the fact that in 1952, a lot of people wanted to scale Mount Everest. So two guys also started, they went. And when they're about to see, not reach, when they saw the towering mountain, final peak, they ran out of oxygen. Secondly, to compound matters, the rope broke into two. It is called the toggle rope. And they have the only third equipment, which is called ice axe. You just hit the ice using the axe and then climb just 2 feet. And then hit it the next climb 2 feet. That ice axe broke. Ice axe was broken, rope got severed, and they ran out of oxygen cylinder. So they do not have anything else to do. So they had to come back. So naturally, they took the easiest option, they turned. But after having turned, one of the guys in the team said, he took another 90 degrees turn, he addressed the mountain. He said, as a mountain, you can't grow. But as a man, I can always grow. He gave a challenge, I'll conquer you. And then he came down. Okay. There's a saying, history repeats itself. So next year, the same expedition started with a lot of fanfare, with a lot of press meetings, press reporters, clicking photographs. And then this team goes. As I said, they reached the same spot like last year. And they found the oxygen has already gone. They had exhausted the oxygen supply. And the rope was missing. Last time, the rope was there. It was broken into two, but at least rope was there. This time, to negotiate one of the peaks, the rope had slid away, and small ice axe, it has become blunt. Things were much more problematic than it was last time. So the other guy said, sir, we got only one option. Let us turn back. Let us make another attempt. The other guy said, we got nothing to lose. We already reached this time, this height. Let us make an attempt. Then he said, there are two options. If we succeed in climbing the tallest feature, history will remember us for having two people who have been able to set their foot on the tallest feature on earth. One. Supposing we die, let us think the other way also. Supposing we die, still people will say, these are the two people who already climbed the top. So we got nothing to lose. Let us climb. And with this resolve, when they started vanishing their self-doubt, they started climbing. And after 3.5 hours of arduous climb, they were almost exhausted. They found themselves up on the topmost hill feature, 8,848 feet, rather meters. And they found the entire world very, very small and tiny. They were there for a few minutes, took some photographs, and then came down. And in the press conference, they were asked, how did you feel when you were there on the top of the mountain? They said, I found the world at my feet. He said, the entire world is at my feet. Whosoever is there in the world, everybody was below me. So in one trice, in one little moment, he was able to disappear self-doubt. Because he just thought his ambitions were quite high. He did not have any technology. He did not have any oxygen cylinder, nothing. He just climbed. And the guy is called, he was given a title of Sir Edmund Hillary. And the person who gave him company was Tenzing Norgay. They said, we should not have self-doubt. And third is self-abuse. The moment you are confronted by fear or by defeat, or and fear is failure and fear are roaming large, you start abusing your own self. You start withdrawing. And you think that is not possible, and you deny all good things in life. That is self-denial and self-centeredness. Selfishness, I can call. That is one of the most important factors of negative self-esteem. And you start shortchanging yourself. That is called deceit. And the opposite is again self-indulgence. All these factors will pull you down. Any thoughts on this negative self-esteem? Or you can give one little incident in your life wherein you're able to get the better of negative self-esteem. I'll be happy to hear from you.
It's interesting that selfishness is negative self-esteem. Some people can easily mistake selfishness as self-esteem, positive self-esteem. It is not, it is negative self-esteem. And also it is interesting to note the way Major Sir is explaining, every one of us have self-esteem. It's the question is whether it is positive self-esteem or negative self-esteem or somewhere in between. So we are all working towards having positive self-esteem. So I think if we understand what is negative self-esteem, at least we can do away with that. So thank you, Major Sir, for bringing this out. Yeah, please go ahead. Whoever has anything to share, please.
It was fantastic. At times when we have a negative and positive, we kind of have we could able to see the positive self-esteem. We miss out the negative self-esteem. It's because we think that's natural. This is my my observation. And secondly, another thing, what I felt, previously I was trying. Am I audible now?
Yes.
What I was trying to tell earlier was the secret for our success, is there in our daily routine, and that's what Major also was. That thought just before joining the session just popped up, and yes, it has a great impact. Whatever we are doing consistently brings a great change within us and around us. Thank you.
Thank you, Kausha. Kunanji, if you are there, let's welcome some of the newcomers, Henry and Neelam, Bajaj, and V, before we proceed with the Major Sir. Okay, Vetri, you can invite and say what we are doing here.
It's a great discussion, and especially when Major Sir is explaining that stories with his own rich vocabulary, it's like amazing. Wonderful session, HHC, great going. And anybody would like to add something to this discussion, which is very, very important. We are discussing about self-esteem. Any thoughts, big thoughts?
Sir, on a lighter note,
Yes, sir.
sir asked you to tell about the session to the newly joined people.
That you can tell me in the serious note also. I got the message, sir. Once again, good morning to all the wonderful, magnificent, extraordinary, and beautiful people. For the benefit of the latecomers, I would like to tell you that we are having this empowering morning conversation, which is our flagship program where we come every day to fight against our default mode and putting ourselves into creation mode, and we are all becoming possibility seekers. Today's discussion is being given by great person who has done a lot of accomplishment, and he is also a person from service cadre, and it is a great thing that he is spending time with us and he is touching the topic of self-esteem. That is very, very close topic to the core theme of what we are doing as a EMC here. So it's been so far a great points it's been discussed, and Major C is asking us to think more about self-esteem, which is core part of our life to become a better version of ourselves. So I invite everyone to share your thoughts so far, how much we are able to gain it and what is there in your mind regarding self-esteem. And I have Major Ramaji, Major Sagar wants to talk.
Yes, Sagar, go on. So once again, welcome Henry, V and Neelam Bajaj. So you are welcome to participate in the discussions as very well explained. So we are gathering here every day morning, 7:30 to 8:30 India time, to have a conversation on various aspects in life and remove the negativity and come in positivity. So we are all possibility seekers. So that's what we do. So you can watch the videos as well in the YouTube and Facebook, and you can also participate every day. Thank you very much for joining us. Yes, Sagar, please go on.
Yes, sir. We are talking about self-esteem. Sir, I think we also have talk about negative self-esteem and talk about self-indulgence. Sir, I think for youth and for most of the young people, I think this is the one of the major drawbacks, or one of the it is kind of disease for young people in some kind of self-indulgence, maybe in some kind of drugs, maybe in some kind of many things, drugs, many things. There are many self-indulgence in internet also, mobile also. Many things are self-indulgence that causes low self-esteem. So I think so if we don't have no self-indulgence in any kind, so how can we have that no self-indulgence in any kind? Because do we need any goals, and by fulfilling that goal we have more self-esteem. When we make a commitment to make that goal happen, then automatically that self-esteem come in our being. If we have no any goal, we are in drawbacks or self-indulgence or negative selves. So how to remove the self-indulgence for me now is mobile. I see mobile a lot time, many times in a day. Unless there is some good from the mobile, something it is good for myself. I use for something is good, but most of the thing is bad. I am more compulsive using the mobiles, more on the screen. I see more on the screen all the time. So what to do here, sir? And do I need to have goal to have more self-esteem?
Yeah, very valid question from Sagar. Major sir, you can answer that. So basically, his point is selfishness and self-indulgence seems to be natural for particularly the youth. So how do we do away with that? What are the ways?
I'll give you a very, very simple technique. You can just take any of the autobiographies, just read an autobiography of anybody, you'll find a lot of takeaways. The addiction for you right now in this particular age might be mobile phone. 20 years back, it was around 10 years back, it was internet. 10 years back or further, it was television. Earlier, it was something else. So for every generation, you got a lot of distractions. You find a lot of time wasters. Earlier, it used to be gossip. Now, nobody has got any time to gossip. They do not even have any time to talk shop or even chit chat because we are so engrossed in the mobile phone. So every generation has got its own level of pulling down your time or time wasters or distractors. Just choose any autobiography because all autobiographies will have lot of not only success stories, lot of failures. And from failures, how they've been able to see the other side of failure and how they've been able to evolve in their respective lives. I'll tell you, a lot of great people had suffered a lot of handicap. Like, you would have heard of the famous music composer called Beethoven. He was deaf. Helen Keller was blind. And there's a famous poet called John Milton. What is the handicap? He's again blind. But the most powerful man on earth at one point in time was the US President, Roosevelt. And what is his handicap? He was functioning only on a wheelchair. He couldn't walk. And there's a famous fastest woman on earth during the 60s in Rome Olympics, a girl called Wilma Rudolph. She was born a paraplegic. She had what is called terminal illness at the time of her birth. She was not able to walk. At the age of 6, she gets hold of some crutches and starts walking. At the age of 9, somebody asks her, why don't you remove the brace and start walking? She walks, falls down. She walks, falls down. Slowly, she's able to stand on her own feet. She joins a tennis university. It is called Tennessee University. And then from there, she slowly starts walking. A coach spots her. He says, I'll make her run. She could not even believe because she was around, her siblings were around 14. She did not have anybody else also to take care of her because of poverty-stricken person. But her own siblings used to massage her feet. They could not afford medical treatment. The only treatment that the coach was able to tell them was 15 minutes of massage on your leg, left leg, which is almost paralyzed. Her own brothers and sisters used to take turns every day, morning and evening, and used to massage her. And slowly she started running, finished last in the local meet. Slowly she came to the Olympics and won 2 medals, created a world record, and had what is called the phrase fastest woman on earth. Mind you, she had to overcome a lot of great handicaps. Martin Luther King was asked when he was accosted by a street sweeper, the streets of New York, he said, if your lot happens to be sweeping the streets, sweep streets like Michelangelo did pictures. Sweep the streets like Beethoven composed music. Sweep the streets like Shakespeare wrote poetry. Sweep the streets in such a way that all the hosts of heaven and earth would say, here are the street sweeper who did his job so perfectly that nobody else could match his level of expertise. So we got a lot of shortcomings. Shortcomings are there only in the mind. The more you wanted to get out, one point is reading autobiographies. And second point is coming into this particular platform of empowering morning discussions. You need not even read autobiographies. Just come here. You will get a lot of thoughts from your own mind. A lot of thoughts will be coming like springs. Will come naturally. And slowly you'll find your own level, you're able to evolve in your mental picture. And whether you read or not, whether if you're addicted to your mobile, just attend this. There's a I would say, a tavam, or rather a penance, an austere measure of self-discipline. The moment you are coming here and taking part in the discussion, you can speak only one line. I always attend here and then speak only one line or one sentence. That will be enough for you. But you're able to assimilate a lot of thoughts, ideas, and powerful thoughts by other people. That will be good enough for you. I think I have, to some extent, answered your query, right?
Thank you, sir. Really, really good answer. I think reading autobiography of anybody will give us motivation to do something. I think lack of motivation is also lack of causes low self-esteem. I think so, because when we have no motivation to do anything, then we automatically have low self-esteem. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Motivation is like taking a bath daily. It has to come only from within. It is like using a soap. Today's motivation will not carry you tomorrow. Every day you have to be self-motivated. Nobody can inject this this vial of motivation. It has to come only from within.
Yes,
That's
from
the
within. Yeah.
main factor about motivation. But attending in such forums will always help you to improve your own level of esteem, and slowly you'll be able to find out that you're able to rise in the ladder of success, excellence, and happiness. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yes, Ashok ji, please go on. Unmute.
I think we got little diverted onto something. I'm going back to the self-esteem. Yes, Major gave us a good example of climbing Everest, agreed. But every small job, even a small person does it, it is as good as climbing Everest for him. I go back, unfortunately, I have to go back on my history only. I had attended Bombay Management Association course in sometime in 1970s. And we were coming back from Churchgate station. That time pointed shoes and polished shoes was the high prestige issue, that those shoes should be shining when you sit. So we polished it, and that small boy who was polishing our shoes took the shoe in hand. But by the way, there were two methods of getting polishing the shoes. One, you keep your foot inside the shoe, and otherwise you give him the shoe so that he polishes. He gives you chappal and you stand there. So I had taken out the shoe and given him. After polishing, just like a mirror, he held it in the hand and looked it around and was smiling. I asked him, "Kya ho gaya? Why?" He says, "Sir, see, I can see my face in the shoe." That was the self-esteem. That is the self-esteem. He polished shoe for that time, do ana, but he was proud that he can see his face in it. Number two, polishing. For Diwali, I had ordered one cupboard come dining table, etc. That type of things which were very, very much in practice in those years. Older, quite old, quite senior, polish wala. He was having one hand at the back, bending on that cupboard and dining table and polishing very fast. I was getting late because it was evening and it has to be fixed. Arey, chalo, chodo, bahut acha ho gaya, chalo, de do. Give it to me, I'm getting late. So I was in a hurry to collect the piece, but he was not in a hurry to give me the piece till he is satisfied. He said, "Dekho साहब, मैं आपको दे रहा हूँ. It's a jewelry, दागिना है मेरा. 50 बरस तक आप याद करोगे इसको." And believe me, what he said is true. It is still there, and every day I see that cupboard, I feel that yes, that is self-esteem. It has nothing to do with climbing Everest or otherwise. Even a small thing which we do, with our heart in it. That is the self-esteem. And if somebody tries to move us away from that, we should not get away from that. That is that self-esteem. How many examples can I give? Oh my God. But coming from these small things, even the railway ticket checker, if you're traveling on the long distance train and he comes and check the tickets, at the end of the bogie, if you see him, the way he sits and checks every tickets and then proudly sits tight and puts it that, okay, I've checked all the tickets. That is self-esteem. Be proud and be involved in what you are doing. And every small thing also gives you that self-esteem. In other words, self-esteem, if somebody tries us to move from that, we should not be. We should be steadfast on what we are doing. That is self-esteem. Thank you, sir. Thank you. That is my version of self-esteem. As far as we will come later about the habits, how to give. See, if you are in a habit of having some habit, then it is better to have some habit which is a good habit than the bad habit. Cigarette smoking, that's a habit. Some people, unless they smoke, they cannot go to washroom. Why? What has cigarette got to do the washroom? But there was, in our time, there was a thing, no, unless I have a cigarette, I cannot go to a washroom. So is that a self-esteem? No, that is not self-esteem. That is the habit. That is the weakness of mind. So if somebody feels that he has got addicted to something, that addiction, whether it is adding or it is subtracting. So mobile phone or going for movies or playing cards in the morning, in the evening. So they naturally walk to the club, because unless they play the cards, they don't feel the day is over. That is habit. That is not self-esteem. So there is a difference in habit. There is a difference in our weakness because we are committed to something, and a self-esteem which requires equally hard work, equally involvement in it, without looking for any fruits from it, but being proud of ourselves. Sagar, if you come to Bombay, I will see that you will forget looking into your mobile. Sagar,
Yes.
you come
Yes,
to
sir,
Mumbai,
I
I will
will.
see that I will show you so many good looking, so that you will forget looking into the mobile. Okay.
I was about to say all of us are going to come.
Oh yes, please. All are welcome.
Let's join party together.
I'm also there to,
Hasina madam wanted to say something. Hasina ma'am.
yeah, I'm also there to welcome everybody to Bombay.
Oh.
Yes, sir. Please go ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Ashokji. So much of great examples. It's not only the biggest things, even the smallest things. That is where the real self-esteem lies. Major sir, I think we have Krishna Prasad, Nitin, and Kunain. They also want to share.
Yes,
Let's go with
please.
them.
Most welcome, sir. You can join the discussion.
Yes, Kate.
Can I go ahead? Sir, I have a question. When you were answering Sagar's question on self-indulgence, so my understanding of self-indulgence is to feel happy about what you have done. Is that right? Then I thought, how can that be a negative? So you are taking a pleasure of your own achievement. I think that has to be there, right? Am I right? Yeah.
Self-indulgence, anything which is in modest proportion is okay. The more it starts in self-indulgence, pull you down in your own eyes, and the eyes of others. Anything in modest, in normal proportions is perfectly fine. Anything which exceeds the limit, that I call it as self-indulgence. You can celebrate small success. You can treat yourself to a bout of ice cream. You can go out, have some pastries or any of the so-called pizza, burger also. You can treat all this thing once in a while. But if you start indulging it, that I call as self-indulgence.
So you are
I
saying
hope it's clear.
don't, yeah, got it. So you are saying no, don't let it be headstrong about that.
Yeah.
That's what it means.
I think in excess is not good.
Okay, okay, right. And the other question is, no, the modest people always say, no, you talk less and achieve more, right? So don't set the expectation to your stakeholders, maybe your client or whoever, even to anybody in your life. So that one, talk less and achieve more. When you say that, then we naturally tend to set the lower expectations. So does it mean that our self-esteem is low, or is it good or bad?
I can take it on two-pronged question.
Okay.
Talk less and work more or achieve more. Henry Ford wanted to have an engine called V8 at that time. It was supposed to be an impossibility. So he called those engineers and said, I want V8. They're all highly educated because Henry Ford had gone to the school only till the age of 14. Then his all qualified engineers said it is not possible. But he said, I want a V8 engine. I don't know how. They again came back to him after a few months. They said, sir, all of us had put our thinking cap and we've been thinking for the past few months. And our unanimous decision is it is absolutely impossible. And he said, that is fine. You're limited by your own thoughts. Please think beyond that. Forget about what your engineering degree has taught you. I want you to think over using your right side of the brain. Just think, I want this to happen. If you want that to happen, how will you go about it? He spoke in only one line and then he kept quiet. He talked less. But after a few months, V8 engine was a possibility. It just came out. He only talked less, but he achieved more. So that is talking less, achieving more. Second, there's a famous lady of Roosevelt. Her name was Eleanor Roosevelt. When she was asked, what is your secret of success? She said, it's a very, very most profound saying I ever read. She said, never allow anybody to make you feel inferior without your consent. Without your consent is very, very powerful. Never allow anybody to make you feel inferior without your consent. The moment you start coming out of this shell, that is the time that you're there with your wings open. They are ready to fly and take flight. So is it okay? Does this answer?
Yes, sir. Yes. Thank you.
I think Vitri and Rama are they're raring to take the discussion forward.
Yeah. So KP, any other points you want to share or discuss?
Yeah, no, that's all. They got answered. Thank you.
Okay, so let's listen from Nitin, and then Kunanji has been waiting for quite some time. Yes, Nitin, please go on.
Morning, everyone.
Morning.
Okay, so I'll share my experience about that part where everybody thinks about self-esteem. One of the things when you need to achieve, you need to have a lot of patience. Something which is not being spoken, discussed, addressed in this discussion. If you're going after something, you are working on something, you wish to achieve something, don't compare your results with the next person. You need to maintain your peace and patience to achieve it. And I'm speaking from a very fresh experience. It took me almost 1.5 months to configure my server to work with Python. I really could not ask for outside help and support to do it. Today, I'm very confident on what I have done. Very few people do it. And I know tomorrow I can manage it. The second point is, Namaste Ashok sir, with a lot of regards, but you picked up a point of cigarette and toilet. So that reminded me of my NCC days. Pardon me on that point. And the third thing is on KP. There's a very simple and a very famous saying which goes around in US prisons. You have 2 eyes, you have 2 ears, and 1 mouth. Listen more, see more, talk less. That's what I wanted to say. Thank you.
Yeah, that too, the mouth is having 2 functions. So off the mouth actually for talking. Thank you, Nitin. Yes, Kunanji.
Thank you, Rama sir. Actually, I joined the session late, so I do apologize for that. And the thought coming to my mind about self-esteem is that, and thanks to Sukhdeepak sir, from the day one, he keeps on reminding us that we all are magnificent, wonderful, and extraordinary human beings, and we deserve to be loved and respected for who we are. So that's a very powerful statement sir has given to us, and that enhances our self-esteem, beliefs, and whatsoever we call to the self. And sir has always told us that we all are the infinite being. So if we keep these words always in the awareness state, then we are with that high self-esteem. And I was listening to that conversation of autobiography, and what the thought coming to my mind is that when I leave my body and this world, somebody else must read my autobiography. And that's what I request we all present in this room, that make a commitment to self, that why shall we limit ourselves just to read the autobiography of other human beings? Why not we create our own autobiography when we leave this world, leave a legacy, so that we keep on inspiring others. So think beyond thinking. That's what Ashok sir was telling, and that's what I am taking away from this conversation. So that's how we have the potential, we have the power. So that's what I am declaring with you all, that I would like to have my own autobiography, so that when I leave this world, I keep on inspiring others when I'm not present in this world. And we all have the power, we all have the potential. I would love if Sagar can make his own biography of yoga or whatsoever it is. So that would be a wonderful, and that's a great takeaway for me. So thank you, Major sir. Salute to you, sir, for your session. And back to you.
Thank you, Kunanji. And yes, Ashokji.
1 minute. I think there is a mix-up between a goal and self-esteem. The self-esteem is every day, and goal is something to be achieved. There is a difference in the two. Writing autobiography or something, whatever we are talking about, is goal, ambition. But self-esteem is that every day, everything that I am doing, I am proud of it. With standing erect, and I am doing it. If you go to Taj Mahal Hotel, there is a chaprasi standing outside with turban and everything and standing erect, and he salutes and opens the door. That is self-esteem. He is also chaprasi. When we go to a small shop, also the person says, "Sir, please come in." That also is inviting us. But look at that person standing outside Taj Mahal Hotel, he salutes and opens. We also feel proud. Oh, I am important. The self-esteem is every act, every time, every act, every moment what we are doing, we are proud of ourselves. So there is a difference in a goal and a self-esteem. Please. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the clarification, Ashokji.
Yes, sir. Just a quick one. In my opinion, if we have the high self-esteem, we achieve all the goals.
Exactly.
Yeah, sure.
Exactly.
Sure.
Yeah. Right. So if actually the time is up, but if you can stay for 5-10 more minutes, Major sir has some pointers for us to know how we can improve the self-esteem. Is that okay?
Sure.
Okay, right.
Thanks, Ashok sir, for having triggered this particular thought. I'll be giving a few points for improving self-esteem. The first point happens to be reading autobiographies. You just go to the pointers. That is only the first step. There are 15 more steps. I'll just read them one by one. The entire discussion will not last more than 5 minutes, I can assure you. Reading biographies and autobiographies of successful people who turned their weakness into strength. That is just one factor. And next I call intelligent ignorance. That is what I meant by V8 of Henry Ford. Because we are always limited by our thoughts. We are limited by our experiences. We are limited only by our knowledge. We are limited only by our educational qualifications. But the intelligent ignorant, we do not know what we are capable of. And third is, we can see a lot of, Henry Ford said, I'm looking for a lot of men with infinite capacity for not knowing what cannot be done. He wanted people who do not know their potential. I want only those people. Using them, I'll be able to conquer frontiers. And next, do something for others who cannot repay you in cash or kind. It's a very, very powerful statement. There's a famous doctor, a psychiatrist called Menninger. When he was asked in a forum, what will be one advice that you can give to a person who is about to get a nervous breakdown? He said, very, very simple. Ask the person to go to the other side of the town or wherever he is and help somebody who can never repay him in either cash or kind. So they asked, how will that help? The moment you just help somebody who is no way can be able to repay you, you get out of your own way. You're about to get a nervous breakdown. You'll never get a nervous breakdown. Very, very powerful and moving advice he had given. And people had practiced. Dr. Menninger. Very, very powerful. You know something drastic is going to come. Go out and help people who can never be able to help you back, who can never be able to repay you. So that is the most typical example I could give. And learn to give and receive compliments. The more you start giving compliments, the universe will give you more opportunities to give more compliments. And by giving compliments, you invite a lot of compliments. It's a law of attraction. It's a cycle. The more you give, the more you get. And next is accept responsibility, that we've been speaking in this forum for quite some time. You know, take responsibility. Last few points. Next. Practice discipline. We already seen it. We've been coming here. The very fact that we are attending this forum, that shows that we are seized with what is called the discipline. The level may vary, maybe a difference of degrees, but the very fact that we are coming here and then listening and speaking to the extent possible, that's a measure of your own self-discipline. And we've already spoken about goals. We spoke about Everest, V8 of Henry Ford, Beethoven, about Milton, Helen Keller, and the famous Eleanor Roosevelt. Nobody can make you feel inferior without your consent.
And Kunayan sir.
Yeah. He's coming with Shairi after Shairi. He has always got the last laugh, I would say, in this forum. His words are always last. His words will always be ringing long after the session is over. Like Shelley would say, the best song is, it's still ringing in your ear, even after the song has stopped. So Kunayanji's Shairi will always be there at the back of our mind, much after the session is over.
And his autobiography.
Yeah, correct. We are waiting for that. Waiting for it, truly. And associate with people of high moral character. The more you start being with those people, because it is said your life is the average of 5 people we move out every day. 5 people with whom you spend your maximum time. There's a saying, show your friends, show me your friends. I'll tell you who you are. So the more you are able to associate, satsang they call it, the moment you are able to be associated with some people of high moral character, you'll also find yourself evolving. And we had already seen when I was addressing Sagar, be internally driven, not externally driven. Motivation has to come from within. You can have some props, but motivation has to ultimately flow from within and develop a mindset that brings happiness. For this, you'll have to step back, start observing. Sakshi Bhava, they say, just observe, you'll find everything what happens to you, whether good or bad, whether people give you brickbats or bouquet, If you're able to observe this happening in your life as a third person, you'll find happiness automatically coming in. It's like a butterfly. No need for you to run after it. The moment you just keep quiet, you come and sit on your shoulder. And next is give yourself positive auto suggestions. I never have to explain about this. Very, very powerful quest which has been done. A lot of experiments have been done on positive self-esteem. And just turn your weaknesses into strength. There's one mother in US who is running an agency called MADD. MADD. It is nothing but a movement against drunken driving. Movement against drunken driving. Her weakness was she lost her one and only son. That's a great moment of weakness for her. And how did she make the weakness into strength? Was she started this movement. She started this movement against drunken driving, and she's been able to empower so many people. And the same weakness has become a strength to her. Now she's featured in all programs. She finds herself life taking a lot more higher than where she was earlier. And now her weakness has become a strength. Our greatest strength can become our greatest weakness. The converse, our greatest weakness can also be our strength. Whatever we feel we don't have, slowly we're able to work on it. That will slowly become your own strength. Like Arnold, the famous Mr. Olympia, Mr. World, was also featured and awarded in several TV shows, who was the governor of California. He had a very, very weak body. He slowly worked on it and became Mr. World, Mr. Universe, and Mr. America and Mr. Olympia. The greatest weakness can always be turned to greatest strength, provided we just work on it with focus. And how to have focus? Just have patience. The moment you have patience, you find a lot of doors opening for you. And last, take inventory of your strengths and weaknesses. Know where you are, accept and take responsibility. That is all for the topic. Exactly, I had taken 5 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. It was really wonderful, sir. It was really effective. Thank you.
Thank you. We're waiting for your sharing. Yeah, Priya.
There is morality and moral character different for people. Like for me, moral can be different for others, can be different.
Not clear, Priya.
Am I clear now?
Yeah, slightly better.
Yes, people with good morals, something like that line game. So moral character people.
Priya, it is echoing. I'm not
Was I
sure.
clear?
It is echoing. I'm not sure whether we are able to hear it properly.
No, we can't hear properly.
Can you try? Don't put in speakerphone. Talk through the mic without speakerphone. Yeah, yes, Priya, you are writing.
Ramaji, meantime, Priya writes.
As Priya is speaking,
30
somebody else
seconds.
could speak.
Yeah.
Have
Can
it
I
ready.
take 30 seconds? Can I take before Priya comes with the mic properly adjusted?
Correct. You can pitch it.
Vetri, she wrote in the chat box. Moral character can be different for different people. That's what she says.
Right.
Yeah, go on, Vetri, please.
Thank you very much, Ramaji. I would like to share a quick thought which comes to me. Whenever, Ashokji, please stay for a second. Whenever I happen to hear with, thank you very much, Ashokji. Whenever I happen to listen from Major sir as well as Ashok sir, I have a strange feeling of going and speaking to a central library. Any topic you go and say, sir, this self-esteem, go to second line, third line, you have full of books. If you are okay, take 2-3 weeks and go. And that is such a vast knowledge as well as experience combined together, and you have got a good heart to give it to people. Please pick something. You need not suffer. Go become a better version of yourself. Conquer the world. I can feel that love. Thank you very much for both of you, Major Sir and Ashok. Today, I can say that it is not only Major Sir's show, it is a Jugalbandi. We got so many inputs from Major Sir and Ashok. Thank you very much, Major Sir. It is a great honor for all of us. You are coming and spending time with your great compassion and great knowledge. Thank you very much. And also, I just want to put one more part. That's why I asked Ashok Sir to stay. We are looking forward a day where you open your library, spending full time to serve your books. I mean the experiences. We are looking forward to it. And you also remember I approached you one day for that. Waiting for your time, sir. Over to you, Ramaji. Major Ji, once again, thank you very much.
Pleasure is mine, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Major Sir and
Malika.
Ashok ji,
Malika would like to speak something. And then
yeah, just
Ashok ji.
before Malika ma'am
Session
comes
will be
in.
recorded because I came late as like Kunal sir.
Yeah, it is recorded, Malika
In
ma'am.
that session we came late. So hope this session will be recorded and
It is. It is.
Yeah, thank you, because I want to hear from the beginning. I came in
Yes,
the end
please.
only. But
Yeah.
anyhow, that is very wonderful and golden moments, I can say. Even if I join in the last of the session, it is a wonderful and golden moments. That is
You're in
about
California,
self-esteem.
madam? Malika ma'am? You're in California?
I'm in Phoenix.
Yeah, near California.
Near California.
Near
Yeah.
California.
Yeah.
Fine. Thank you.
Thank you, Malika ma'am. Sir, Major Sir, Priya's question, I don't know from where it comes, but I think this is requires probably more discussion. Moral character can be different for different people. How can I say that other person has good moral character? Is morality and moral character same or different? I think it may require different, a little bit
We have a
detailed.
separate session on that.
Yeah. So
Thanks for giving a topic.
Yes.
For the next
So
session.
we'll have a separate discussion on this. Hold on to this thought. We'll have a separate discussion in another day. But today it has been a great session. Major Sir, thank you so much for your deep and detailed topic, and also actually there were a lot of interest to. In fact, this itself can go into one more session in future sometime. So it's great. Thank you very much. Thank you everyone.
To my knowledge, morality is based on the social ethics, what we follow. It depends on the that society where we live. It depends on that ethics, morality.
It differs from region to region, country to country, and race to race, and religion to religion.
Yes.
Religion to religion, it differs. It got different connotation.
Yeah. Yes.
It is like truth and reality. Both of them appear to be same, but it is not so.
Yeah.
You are there in California. You're sitting in California.
Yeah.
I am in India. For us, US is that side, north side. For US, you're south side. Truth is what is truth? We are in the globe. You're in one part of the globe. You're in another part of the globe. Something called truth and reality. It differs from place to place, people to people, race to race. If a person were to, a small example, normal roads, if you're driving on the road, you'll have to give way for ambulance. Can ambulance give way for any other vehicle? Is there any other vehicle for which ambulance can give way?
No, I think,
yes,
to my knowledge, no.
Ambulance can give way to fire engine, because ambulance is going to save one person. One person's life will be saved by ambulance, or maybe a family. Whereas fire engine comes, ambulance steps aside, it gives way so that the fire engine can pass, because it is going to protect or save or prevent fire of a locality or a house or a colony or a flat or apartment. Is there any other vehicle where ambulance also can give, ambulance and fire engine can stop aside and give way? Is there any such vehicle on the earth? You're driving on the road, ambulance is driving, a fire engine is driving. Any other vehicle?
Is it a president or chief minister's vehicle? Is it so?
No. They are not going to save people. In border areas, you drive, you give way for an ambulance give way for fire engine also gives way for army vehicle. When a convoy of army is going, it is going to protect the nation, it is going to protect the country, it is going to protect your district. Especially you'll find it only in border areas. You will not find in people down this side of the country, they'll not know. In border areas, army vehicles get predominance, they get the right of way, ROW they say. So what you call is, I am running for a hospital, I'm carrying a person. That is your moral character at that time. You just give. Values is different. So this is what truth and reality. Reality, what you say is right, but truth is, which is the higher truth? What is the larger good? What is the larger interest of the people? Army vehicle. So I think I had answered your question. Is that right, Malika ma'am?
Yes, true, very much true. Very
Thank you.
much true.
I
And
think-
one more is in even driving also varies different country to country. In our India, right side driving is encouraged, whereas in here left side driving. So it doesn't mean that the left side is correct, right side is correct. Depends on the society where we live.
Correct.
That's all.
I think time for Shahri by Kunainji. Waiting for you, raring for your Shahri.
Yeah, yes, Kunanji.
Today, Shairi dedicated to you, Major Sir.
Yeah.
अर्ज किया है कि ये this is an old share, but it is a very powerful share. It gives me lots of self-esteem and encouragement. अर्ज किया है कि हमको मिटा सके ये जमाने में दम नहीं, हमको मिटा सके ये जमाने में दम नहीं, हमसे जमाना खुद है, जमाने से हम नहीं, हमसे जमाना खुद है, जमाने से हम नहीं. Who will translate this?
Obviously you.
So he said that it's basically Urdu word. हमको मिटा सके ये जमाने में दम नहीं. Like nothing in this world can stop me to do whatsoever I want to achieve. Nothing in this world can finish me because I am the universe. I am magnificent, wonderful, extraordinary, infinite human being. So nothing can destroy me. हमसे जमाना खुद है. The world is because of me, not because of the world I exist. As Sir has always told that we are infinite being. We are wonderful, magnificent, extraordinary human being. We deserve to be loved and respected who we are. So that's what it is.
Thank you,
Dedicated
thank
to
you.
Major Ji, salute to you, sir, for all your
We're not a drop in the ocean. We are the ocean. That's your point I can take.
Yes.
We are not a drop in the ocean. We are the ocean. We may be a drop by size. We may be limited by our thoughts and limitations. The moment you join the sea, then you are the ocean.
We
Thank you,
all are
Kunainji.
the, yeah. We all are the drops here, but we create ocean. We are the part of ocean.
Right.
Thank you,
So
Kunainji.
with that note, let's conclude today. Thank you all for staying so long. Let's see tomorrow, 7:30. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Stay safe, stay blessed all. Take care. Vetri ji, would you like to stay? Ramaji, we can discuss quickly.
Yeah.
I take leave. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Major sir.
Salute again, Major sir.
Ramarji, you can stop the recording. Thank you, Major.
Yeah.